I'm going to repeat something that I've already said in a previous video because I'm going to edit it out, because to stick it on YouTube it only allows 15 minutes, so I'm just going to repeat it because I went over the 15 minutes, so I'm just going to chop the whole thing off and then say it again. So I'm going to start this piece again, and the piece is on, well, it's the final piece on the little talk I was giving on being a therapist, with regard to timing. We arrange Caminos in advance, and we have an estimate of how long things will take. On the French Camino, we originally always thought we could walk about 30k a day, which is a lot, and we have some of the days we've walked the French Camino, we did, sorry, not 30k, 45. We've done 45k sometimes, but we estimated to do 40. But we find that we actually can do quite easily 25 to 35. But when we originally arranged it, when we first did it, we arranged it at 40 and couldn't do 40. Yes, well, not every day. Sometimes yes, but not every day. So we had to rearrange the whole thing. So that's our estimate. And then on this journey, again, we thought, well, we couldn't do 40s, but we should be able to do 30s on this one, because we can do 25s to 35 on the French, so this should be okay. But we didn't take into account the heat differential. We're 400 miles-ish further south, which means that it's a lot warmer, and therefore we can't walk in that sort of heat. We just old, craggy, I don't know what it is. Cragginess, does that do it? Oldness. So we had to redo our whole schedules, and we're down to 20s-ish, which is actually quite nice, to be honest. So anyway, so we reschedule. This relates to being a therapist in an interesting way, because people turn up with an idea of what it is they think they want and how long they think it will take. That is to say, if someone turns up with a problem, says, I've got this problem, and I would like it resolved because it's wrecking my life. The fact that they've been doing this thing for the last, I don't know, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, doesn't seem to come into how quickly they want it resolved. They want it resolved quite instantly. And their level of commitment to that is, let's call it problematic. So they want things quickly done and quickly resolved. And some of the things people ask for are lifelong changes. So it's going to take the rest of their lives to resolve this. There's a need, if you're on a personal journey of any sort, and that includes a Camino, for you to be, how can I say, adaptive, dynamic in your approach. Just like we have an arrangement when we begin, but we realise that we may have to reschedule the whole thing. The same applies in the approach to any journey. You may have an idea of how long it will take you to do something, but that's just an idea. It's not something that you can really hold on to. And some of the things that people want to change are, as I've said, lifelong things. So there's a need to just approach it very, very, very tentatively and say, okay, I would like to, develop as a human being, grow spiritually or whatever it is, and then look at it and say, okay, realistically, what type of journey is this? Is this something that I can achieve within weeks, months, a small course, 5 days, yes? Or actually, am I looking at something that is a lifelong dedication? And much of what people want is a lifelong dedication. It is not something that can be achieved in a short amount of time. It just isn't. So don't give up. Don't be disappointed. Be realistic. Be adaptive. Say to yourself, okay, well, I hoped that it would be, something I could do in this amount of time. Yes, but it just wasn't. And that's okay. Move on. Keep going. Don't give up. Yes, you'll get wherever you're going if you dedicate yourself to it. But don't sort of be obsessed with how long you think it should have taken you. Because lots of people say, I should have been able to resolve this by now. And I always think, why should you have? Who said you should have? Even with, basic, simple things I suppose people think, like grieving the loss of a loved one. We have people who say, oh, I should be over this by now. And I always think, who said you should? Is there some sort of book people read that says, grieving my wife of 60 years should take 6 weeks? I mean, is it a week per year or something? I don't know. I lost a child when I was young, therefore, I should be over it by now. Why? Yes, I was misused as a child or an adult or whatever. I should be over this by now. Why? Or I would like to be a more peaceful person. I've been practicing this or that for this amount of time, so therefore I should be this by now. Why? Who says? Where did these ideas come from? Yes. And the same with your Camino. Who says how far you should be able to walk on a particular day, given a particular condition, given how you feel, given your feet, your bag? Who says? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that people have these ideas that things should be done in a particular amount of time. Give yourself space. Love yourself enough to give yourself space to do the things that you need to do. It's important. In all your journeys, it's important to give yourself space. It's important to value yourself enough to give yourself space to achieve the things that you wish to achieve. Okay? That's all the theme was about today with regard to time. Be dynamic. Allow your timings to shift. Allow your perceptions of how long a thing should take to shift. Yes? Allow yourself to adapt. Don't sort of lapse into disappointment with the I shoulds and I shouldn't. I understand, especially with regard to therapy and the Camino itself, I suppose. People have, with regard to the Camino, lives to get back to. Yeah, so there's a limited amount of time they can do things in. So yes, they have a schedule like we often do. Yeah, I get that. Yes, but you have to work with what you got. So, if it means that you didn't get to, the end and you had to fly out, come back and do it again, finish it off. And with regard to being in therapy, or self-development or whatever, yes, you need your life resolved, or you need to develop in a direction because you want to have something in your life different, and you have a goal. I get it. Yeah, but becoming upset because you haven't achieved it, this is just counterproductive. It doesn't help you. So anyway, that's the end of that theme. So we have covered today taking responsibility for yourself. That's the first video, and this addendum to the video covered. The first video also covered receiving help from others. And this video covered timing. Sorry to be so rambly. Having walked all day and loafed post-arrival makes me rambly. So there you go. I'm not really rambly in real life. This is kind of weird. Suzanne's laughing, saying I'm not really rambly in real life. I'm not really rambly when I'm working with people. I seem to be really rambly when I'm just talking to you on the video. So, should I have held it that close? Or is that a bit too creepy? Maybe here, so you could see the words trip off my tongue. Anyway, this is Carlos on his Camino, signing off. And you don't have to watch these at all. You're free to leave them alone. Take care.